You're so pretty, you can date any guy you want.
Actually, I can sleep with any guy I want. Unfortunately, it's not the same.
Yeah, you're learning. How is being stronger going to help men survive when they sink on the Titanic?
That's a really good question. I don't know if they're supposed to swim faster or, yeah, it's an unfair thing that men have to deal with, you know, women and children first. But at the end of the day, like, it should be who, I don't know who it should be.
How is it going to help men who have to get in front of a train?
Well, have you seen Spider-Man?
I want a man that I know that will get in front of a train for me. Like, I can defend myself, but
Spider-Man was able to hold a train back, so.
He's trolling, and to an extent, you gotta respect that. But the women that was interviewed for context, just from the tone and body language alone, wasn't. And that's because when it comes to modern women, traditionalism takes a distant backseat. There's a real sense of cognitive dissonance among these women lately, more so than usual. In their heads, nothing has changed for thousands of years, unless they're vapid enough to hop on a podcast with the belief that they'll win an argument. With the spotlight on and mic in hand, they really just go about life thinking that they're the same women our great-grandmothers were. Cheerful, understanding, subservient, and willing to do anything possible to make things work. But here's the thing, believing something doesn't make it true. There is no action that validates anything they have going on in their heads. Before we go on with the video, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to DaBulb, who shared, "Chivalry is not dead, we are just extremely selective with who gets that treatment. And in 2024, we are even more selective." So thank you for sharing that comment, and don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always, guys, I'll be picking one comment from each video. Could be the funniest, the most liked, or just one that stuck out to me, so don't forget to leave a comment, and you could be our very next winner. And be sure to hit that like and sub button too, as that helps out the channel a ton, y'all. And also, we got a second channel linked in the description. I'll be posting similar stuff there too, so subscribe to that just in case. Link is right below. Now back to the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
Women can literally drop hints every day for weeks, months, and years, and men still wouldn't get it.
Shut up.
May I have your opinion, please? What is it with men these days and not wanting to date? Do you guys have a fear of commitment? Is it the woman these days? Does it have anything to do with spending money on women? Does it have anything to do with trust issues? Maybe dating apps? Maybe you feel like there are endless options in terms of significant others?
I mean, it's Canada. Anyway, ladies, the short answer is you broke the bargain, and there's a lot more to it. Again, a lot of women honestly believe that the only thing that has changed in the last 250 plus years is that they are able to speak their minds, as if that was ever a question. If the Western election cycle has taught any of us anything, these chicks could be in the most progressive dystopia, and they could be in San Francisco, LA, New York, hell, London, fully capable of doing anything to themselves, and in some cases, school systems, but they still believe that they are living in The Handmaid's Tale. They sit there in Starbucks man-made, using laptops and phones man-made, using tables man-made, using a language men created, expressing their hollow opinions online as if anyone really cares. I talked about this a little in a recent video, but feminism is essentially a case of advertising gone horribly wrong. Let's say a car company, like Jaguar, kind of fitting, had an ad out about their new ride. It's ripping around corners on a racetrack, the sun glints off the hood, jumps out of a cloud of debris, and then takes off like a rocket ship into the sky or some shit. Now, that last bit is edited, but the rest is fairly reasonable. The make and model is described, the run on the track appears to be legitimate, and the body of the vehicle looks pretty sick. You go online, see lots of promises matching the commercial, decide to order it for your luxurious estate, and yet, when it arrives, they bring you what looks like a 2008 Ford station wagon with a backseat stand that looks like an elephant went into labor the hour earlier. No paint job, no flash, no speed, no flair. Now, here comes the extremely difficult part. Do you A, fight to send it back, or B, keep it and see if you can make efforts to make it look presentable? Oh, what's that? BE? Oh, wow, that shocked absolutely no one with two brain cells to rub together. And look, modern women, just like the dealership, aren't getting off the hook. All actions in life, or lack thereof, have consequences.
The craziest confession.
Cheated on my boyfriend 3 times.
Okay, why?
Because he's a I'm still in love with my ex-boyfriend and I have a new boyfriend.
That's kind of crazy.
We're about to go see him.
Consolation prize.
Bro, being a single mom is literally the hardest shit ever. Like, you cannot do anything. I literally got like one side of my weights racked at the gym because I tried to work out, and they're calling me over the intercom to come get him literally after 5 minutes because he don't want to be with anybody but me because I'm the only person with him. But you literally just can't do anything. I'm literally so exhausted from work like 90% of the time, so I don't ever get to do like a good like real workout. And I got up trying to do a workout this evening and he don't even want to go to the kids club. This is like the 3rd time I've tried to take him. He does not like to be with strangers, so it just makes it hard because I can't do anything. The only time I have help is when I'm working, but I can't ever do anything for myself. And the other parent just gets to do whatever they want. Literally whatever. You can go hang out with your friends.
The well of pity is dry, lady. We don't care. And that's simply because modern women don't know actions have consequences. When a man commits a crime, and not the president's son, particularly a felony, he's given the whole menu. Aggressive arrest, court appearance, defamation, and a cold cell next to someone a little too friendly. However, as the protected class, women don't face this nearly as much. If there is any reasonable doubt, the judge and jury give them a pat on the head like some kind of Dr. Seuss Christmas story, and they go on their merry way. And the thing is, at least in some ways, this was an unspoken bargain for upholding their end of the deal. The female punishment, at least in the traditional sense, was a shame. Their communities would shun them, the tea parties disappeared, and book clubs vanished, and the pastor or priest might even make a note of it and use the action as a warning sign. And why? Because this might come as a surprise to some, but women aren't as affected by masculine punishments. What they are affected by, however, is social judgment. Seriously, lock a chick in prison for 10 years, and as long as the public wants her to be in vogue, she'll find some way to justify it. That's why virtue matters for women, and why the modern world has, granted with their assistance, failed them. Today, there's nothing standing in the way of a woman walking down the street in a silk jumpsuit, cheating with the first guy around the corner, and the product of this blindness can be seen a mile away, for both sides of the aisle.
If a man marries a woman and she gets older, will he keep her? Yes, because men are good people. Men are good people, and we keep women. We don't treat women like y'all would treat us. See, if a woman had a man and her value increased later in life and his decreased, women would get rid of the men. But see, we're good people. I know they're going to get mad at me on that one.
Facts.
I'm single as of yesterday.
You had a man before yesterday?
For 2 years. I'm not gonna lie, I got a dick appointment coming.
With who?
My best friend.
You were friends with this guy while you were dating your boyfriend?
I've been friends with him before I knew my ex, I guess now.
I'm so disappointed in you though.
Why?
You're going to go your best friend a day after breaking up with your boyfriend. That means you wanted to your best friend while you were dating your boyfriend.
It's kind of more complicated, like...
Can we stop pretending like having a guy best friend isn't a huge problem? That's like me going to my nutritionist and saying, all right, I'm gonna start the keto diet. Let's do this. I am committed to this. Let's go. And then every time I sat down to eat something, I had a pack of Oreos with me. The nutritionist looks at the Oreos like, what's up with those? Oh, these, don't worry about these. I'm not gonna eat those. Oh, you're not gonna eat them? So why do you have them with you? Oh, these Oreos, I done had these Oreos since before I started this diet. I love these Oreos. These Oreos are cool. Don't worry about them. I have zero interest in eating them. I just like having them around. And the nutritionist be like, okay, so you ain't never had Oreos before? You don't like Oreos? No, I've had Oreos before. I just never had these ones, and I never will have these ones. Trust me, I will never eat these Oreos. And then one day that diet starts getting really hard. And you start thinking, man, I've been doing everything for this diet, but I ain't seeing no results. This diet ain't doing nothing for me.
She was the problem, in case anyone's wondering. Men, values matter. These women don't have them. Like I just said, in today's Western atmosphere, there are no repercussions for abandoning roles, going off on another ride on the carousel, or running off with a bag. If anything, these are actions that are either justified or even glorified in the media. We see holiday movies where the woman will come to a new boyfriend's family home, meet an old fling from high school, college, or their hometown, and roll in the proverbial hay, all with the expectation that the audience should look at this as a miracle Santa brought over from the North Pole. The man she was with at the start is somehow villainized for being, quote, insecure, and ends up being the duck lightning rod for the rest of the flick. At this point, the only thing modern women have is what could be aptly called anti-values. Do you have a husband? Cheat on him. Do you have a boyfriend? Cheat on him. Does the boss seem attractive all of a sudden? Go get that raise. You get the picture. Essentially, feminists and the like have decided anything that's traditionally feminine, like having kids in a stable home, loyalty, and commitment, is considered a cardinal sin. To make matters worse, this never stops with themselves. This ideology encourages projection, so they try and apply the same Uno reverse card on, you guessed it, men.
What's your age?
24. 26.
Where you from?
Los Angeles.
What do you look for in a man?
Paper.
You're kidding.
No.
Why are you so interested in a man's money?
I mean, he has to be like, taking care of me. Of course.
Being that you both live in LA, how much would you expect him to make?
At least enough to take care of me. He doesn't have to be like a rich, but he does have to.
So dollar figure wise, what does that look like to you?
We're kind of pricey.
So let's say I was your man and I was taking care of you. What would you do for me if I'm paying for everything?
Sit at home, cook, clean. Blah, blah, blah.
That's all I'd get in return.
What else do you want?
Cook, baby, cook. Why would men want to approach women today when they no longer have to worry about just being rejected, but also have to worry about being accused of harassment?
So that's kind of effed up. Because, I mean, there's a fine line between trying to pick up on a woman and, forcefully going after her after she already said no.
Right, I agree with that. Obviously, if the woman rejects the man, I think he should, leave her alone. Right. But I'm saying, what do you think about a woman basically feeling like basically annoyed that the guy even approached her just to begin with?
I think that's personal issues.
I think social media has them very brainwashed, and I think that they like the attention, whether it's good or bad.
Because men will be mean. Why wouldn't a man approach a woman?
Well, what does that mean?
Basically, men see a woman, they see something they like, and they just go for it without thinking. Men do not think. They don't think.
This world is a safety net for women. Guys, when courting gets dangerous, nobody is making a bid. In an effort to live in a 180 reality, women are applying the same rules to men, and nobody's having it. The irony of this is that most of these chicks still romanticize the image of a John Cusack coming to the door with a boombox and maybe some flowers or chocolate. But if a man were to ever do any of these things in a traditional climate, the idea is that this borders on stalking or worse. For the remaining men that haven't gotten the memo, no matter how few, if the knowledge we have isn't stopping them, there's something else. And that has to do with the real legal threat of acting on any gut feeling, knocking on any door, or anything else along those lines. Now, these used to be traditional modes of thinking. It was perfectly natural for a guy to go up to a woman in a public space, maybe even get her attention by touching her arm just to get the conversation flowing. Today, that's either happening in a dingy club or not at all. Meanwhile, that doesn't stop women from making demands to men they've never met. And these get crazier and crazier every year.
The only thing is, I understand I'm short. I get that. I am pretty short, and I'm shorter, but it's just you're short too. So.
And how tall are you?
I'm 4'11".
Oh my God. Okay, and how tall are you again, Eddie?
5'9".
5'9".
Yeah.
I know, but you see,
See what?
He can look over your head.
Yeah, but I can't
so
look
you
up.
tippy toe.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Okay.
Thank you, Eddie.
You're fat. It's getting rough out here for some of these women. Y'all gotta check this out.
Right, but if you're a man and you watch me struggle to put my carry-on in the overhead compartment and you don't offer to help, jail. What is wrong with you?
Now, myself, I would never do that. If I'm in that situation, I'm always going to help that person with their bag. To be honest with you, if I see anybody in that situation, an older gentleman or somebody who's not that tall and they really can't reach it, I'm going to help anybody in that situation. But I definitely would help a woman because that is just how I am. But what you women got to understand is y'all have been beating these men in the head for the last 40 years with this feminism, telling them y'all don't need them. So there are a lot of men who just don't care anymore. Again, I'm going to do it, and there's going to be other men like myself who are going to continue to do it. But there are a lot of men who checked out, and y'all got to understand that this is something that y'all created. After years of hearing a woman telling the man she doesn't need him, she can do it herself, and even some women getting angry with you if you try to help them, there are men out there who have just checked out of the whole helping a woman out thing. I feel bad that you went through that, but I think you're blaming the wrong party. You might want to turn around and look behind you.
That's nice, man, but there's no way in hell I'm doing anything like that outside the family, or anywhere in the West. You just don't know what'll go down afterwards, and that's the point. The traditional needs aren't matched with traditional behavior. Modern women are making these complaints about chivalry. They complain about how real men are gone, blah, blah, blah. No need to rant on that one. The point is, just like I said a minute ago, these traditional moves can also have ramifications. Not that long ago, I was going to the gym, visiting California. No shit, this really happened. And a man opened the door for a blue hair. I would have warned him not to do it, but you never know these days. Out of nowhere, the woman or whatever started getting super weird. She started muttering all kinds of things, and when the man asked what was up, she yelled, "I could have done it myself." And the craziest part about this interaction was that the guy was set up like Arnold Schwarzenegger, chiseled jaw, the whole thing. Now, whether this was a post-election thing or just her natural everyday behavior, I don't know. I don't care. It really doesn't matter. The point is, if he hadn't opened the door, I and all of you have a sneaking suspicion she would have been just as pissed. And that's why most good men aren't even touching doors anymore, opening up the umbrella for two or any of that corny crap. It's over, and they don't even see it coming. At least, not until recently.
Do you think WNBA players should get paid the same as NBA players?
Absolutely not. They should never be paid the same because people don't watch them as much as the NBA players. It's all about money at the end of the day, and NBA players bring in more money. So you gotta pay people what they are worth.
If you're telling me the average man does not make over 100K, how are women marrying men for money? If you're telling me the average income is 50K, how are women marrying for money? Please answer that for me. Somebody please answer that.
Nope, I'm not even going to do it. None of us are. Sure, I could say that women don't want to work for themselves. They look for the 6 figs. She looks like Shrek's fiance, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we're not playing the games anymore. We don't have the energy. Ladies, in the West, you drove the consumer economy into the ground. You took up job space you're not qualified for, and hoflation is at an all-time high. There's no reason left for why any man, even most simps, to go on a date or, God forbid, walk down the aisle to wait for you. You're a disaster. By encouraging any of this, we'd be bringing our ancestors shame. We'd be digging grandpa out of the grave, spitting on the traditional values, the masculine values that allowed us to be so prosperous in the past. We have options, time, goals, dreams. There's literally no incentive to give you a monochrome of our time. So good luck. Without tradition, without values, you're gonna need it.
Why do the women that hate men the most look the most like men? That is a fair question. Buzz cuts, men's clothing. That would be like if the leader of the KKK was wearing a do-rag, right? It's like the white race is the best race. He's dribbling a basketball, like beatboxing. Like, he loves black people, it looks like.
Honestly, you're so mature, it's actually embarrassing.
All right, cool.
Next.
I haven't been second choice like 3 times in it, so.
said. What? You said, say that again. Go on. Go on, say it.
I said you're the one that's been second choice like 3 times, Jack, so.
Honestly, you, Kieran, generally.
You wish.
It's a tap. People give it and people take it, so it is what it is. You give it, you've got to be able to take it. Sometimes people say things that aren't very nice.
Couldn't even move her face to express an emotion. The man in this last clip here is the perfect example of the general consensus most Western men feel, and is probably the most rational thing in the modern world. We simply have better things to do, bigger fish to fry, and we're having a great time doing it with nothing standing in the way. Alright, and if you made it to the end of this video, I want to say I appreciate you, so please don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment to have a chance to win, and hit that sub button for daily videos. If you could take a quick sec to subscribe to the second channel, Man Guide Reacts, link is down below in the description so we can be sure that our message will keep on reaching the new men out there. I appreciate all the support, y'all, and I want to wish you all tremendous success.